Indiana limestone has offered durability, cost-effectiveness, and beauty to the construction industry for centuries. The following is an elite group of industry experts that will give you their perspectives on this natural and sustainable material. Indiana limestone, America's building stone.
I'm Brian Keith, the carbonate geologist at the Indiana Geological Survey at Indiana University. And we're standing here in exposure of the Indiana limestone. That's a world premier building stone because of its massive character, its uniform composition and high quality. Makes it a very durable, easily millable, and stone for a variety of applications.
Thank you, Dr. Keith. Now let's visit the historic Central Quarry at the Indiana Limestone Company and see how this amazing building material is quarried from the earth.
Welcome to Central Quarry of the Indiana Limestone Company. My name is Josh Wagner. I'm the Director of Quarry Operations here. This property, to give you a little bit of background, we started quarrying here in 1911. Roots of the company go back to the 1850s and 1860s. Since 1911, we've quarried about 200 acres on this property of about 2,000, 2,500 that we have here just in this local area. If you look back behind us, you can see parts of the quarry. There are a number of things that are happening there today. Primarily, in the end, that is the extraction of limestone blocks from the quarry. The high wall, if you look at it, is comprised of a couple different types of limestone. On the top, you'll see the St. Louis limestone. That material is used from here. We take it and crush it, and it's used in construction projects and road building and concrete and a number of other applications. But our primary use is the Salem limestone, which is down below that. Salem limestone is a Mississippian era stone. It was deposited about 330 million years ago when this area was covered by a shallow saltwater sea. The process that we use once we get down to the Salem limestone is first we cut the ledge and we cut the stone into blocks that are approximately 50 feet long, 12 feet tall, 4.5 to 5 feet thick, and weighing about 500,000 pounds apiece. Next step in the process, once we have the area all cut up into those 500,000 pound blocks, is we break them across the bottom line. We use a hydraulic hammer to make that break, and then once it's broken and that block is freestanding, we need to tip it over on its side and break it up into smaller blocks. And once it's on its side, then it's time for us to decide how we want to break it, and then to go ahead and drill and break that into manageable size pieces. We'll decide how we want to break it based on what that cut looks like, and our objective is always to get the most usable stone out of every piece. So we'll go out, the stone markers will look at it, they'll draw lines on the cut where they want it to be drilled. It'll be drilled either by a manually air-powered drill that's drilled by hand, or it'll be drilled by a machine drill. Once it's all drilled up, we then break it with a hydraulic splitter. It's mounted to a crane, and there are 8 hydraulic splitters on this one particular rack. You put all the splitters down into the drill holes, flip switch in the cab of the crane, and it breaks that block out in a matter of just a few seconds. So we're going not only for the most usable stone, but also manageable size pieces. In this industry, that means blocks weighing somewhere between 20 and 40,000 pounds. Once the blocks are broken up into the smaller sizes, then they are picked up with a large forklift and carried up to the top of the hill, where another stone marker looks at them and makes determinations of their size, their qualities, and their color. And then we match those blocks to job needs based on where they're going to be used. We're standing here in a block yard, and you can see it's surrounded by a number of quarry blocks. These are going to range from 15, 20, up to 40,000 pounds. For many of these blocks, the next step is that they will be loaded onto a truck and shipped to a fabricator. The fabricator will then take this block and cut them down to size based on whatever the project requirements are, and be finished into cut stone, whether it's panels or coping work or any number of products after that.
And now let's see how Indiana Cut Stone takes those quarried stone blocks and fabricates them into beautifully cut and dressed Indiana limestone. A leading fabricator in the industry, Indiana Cut Stone provides stone for many important building projects worldwide.
We are Indiana Cut Stone, a leading fabricator of Indiana limestone based in Bedford, Indiana. We're a certified women's business enterprise and have been providing quality cut and dressed limestone since 1997.
Most of our work is providing stone for new construction projects. Indiana cut stone is also very well known for our expertise in stone carving detailed architectural elements, as well as matching existing Indiana limestone on restoration projects. The fabrication process begins when we order the quarry blocks of the correct color and grade from the supplier. The quarry blocks arrive on a flatbed truck and are unloaded. The blocks are then closely inspected by our yard managers before being sequenced for processing in the mill. The first step in fabrication is the block saw. This giant saw cuts the huge quarry blocks into slabs. From there, the slabs are cut down further by either the trim saw, the angle saw, or the CNC profiler. The final step is handwork done by our finishing department. All projects are different, but the finish can include sanding for a smooth finish, applying surface textures, or actual hand carving of the details. The last step in fabrication is a careful inspection. This is the final check to ensure our stone is in perfect compliance with project plans and specs. From here, the finished stone is packaged and moved to the stone yard where it is sorted for delivery. We're very careful to ship the stone out in the order it will be needed at the job site. At Indiana Cut Stone, we are proud to be part of both the history and the future of the Indiana limestone industry.
Architects appreciate the natural beauty of Indiana limestone. AIA fellow Bill Brown of Ratio Architects will enlighten us on how his firm has utilized Indiana limestone and his thoughts on this material.
My name is Bill Brown. I'm Principal Architect and President with Ratio Architects. As we talk about Indiana limestone today, I want to just give you my perspective of the material. Indiana limestone is the life and the history of our state. It's carved here in limestone. This material is used on many structures around our country. It's our most distinctive export from Indiana. Some of the buildings that are clad with this material include the Empire State Building, the National Cathedral, the Pentagon, and the building behind me, the Indiana State Museum. When we were commissioned to do the Indiana State Museum, we felt that it was important to use limestone because it really is the identity of Indiana. The south facade of the Indiana State Museum is clad in roughbacks. These roughbacks are the exterior of the quarried blocks. You can see that this material, by its natural shape, creates a lot of offsets and cleavage from one piece to the next. You'll see that the texture is quite beautiful as it models itself across the wall. We chose this so that we could take advantage of the strong south sun, being able to create the kind of shadows and texture on the wall to project the strength and robustness of the limestone material. As an architect addresses the technical aspects of limestone, certainly we look at its durability, we look at its flexibility, and we often compare it to other materials. There are many materials that an architect uses on projects over the life of his career, and we certainly use many products ourselves. Limestone is one of the materials that we choose often to use. We found that its durability, it's the opportunity for it to patina over time and to create this wonderful texture that has this nice sort of light reflectance to it is really quite wonderful. When we look at other materials like either cast stone or precast, we use those in a way that allows us to break them up in a more rhythmic fashion because they can become very monochromatic. Limestone, on the other hand, when you use it in a monochromatic fashion, has the opportunity to actually be variegated within itself and modeled within itself. So we find that that can be used in sort of large expanses of walls and not really be monotonous. So as we look at the massing of a building and we look at the detailing of the building, obviously the materiality needs to be informed by that massing and vice versa. And oftentimes we find limestone being a very good choice as the material cladding for our buildings.
Coming up, Fritz Herget from RC Engineers gives us his perspective on this material as a respected construction industry expert in both masonry and building facades.
Hi, my name's Fritz Herget, president of RC Engineers, a firm that's been in business for 45 years and based here in central Indiana. We're a group of consulting engineers, and oftentimes we get to work on limestone buildings. Over those 45 years, we've worked on several hundred limestone-clad buildings throughout Indiana and out across the United States. Some of them are older buildings, things like the Scottish Rite Cathedral, Christ Church down on Monument Circle, the War Memorial that I'm standing here at, and the Soldier and Sailors Monument. In fact, we've even clad the exterior of the state capitol with limestone. Why? Because it's a durable material, something that's going to be around for a long time, something that doesn't need to be fixed, something that once you buy it, you own it, and it stays put. We've also been involved in a lot of newer buildings, things like the Indiana Law School, the Neil Marshall Center, and the State Museum. It's a good choice for new materials too and new buildings because it's going to be around for a long time. It's easy to fabricate, easy to shape, make intricate shapes, and quarried here in central Indiana. It's a homogeneous material that doesn't have any weakness in any plane like a lot of other stones. It's a material that we know what the strength is so that we can use it to hang from soffits. We can put it in water tables, copings, decorative elements all around the building. It's a great veneer material. Less permeable, so less water gets behind the veneer to cause problems inside a building. Recently, we've had an opportunity to kind of see how different materials age over time in a side-by-side comparison. Two projects come to mind. One is Circle Tower down on the monument, and the other is Hinkle basketball facility over at Butler University. Both have limestone on them, and both have cast stone on them. Cast stone is a product that's made to emulate limestone, has reinforcing in it. And what we've seen is that reinforcing over time corrodes, cracks, and sometimes even allows fragments to fall off. So we've had to replace the cast stone, while the limestone needs a little bit of tuck pointing, a little bit of sealant work, and off it goes for another 100 years. At RC, every chance we get, when whether you're looking at a new building, trying to decide how to clad it, or looking at an old building, we're always looking at Indiana limestone.
Well, as you can see, Indiana limestone is a wonderful building material. It is a beautiful, durable, as well as a completely natural material. We hope you will consider Indiana limestone for use on your next project.